Hello everyone, my name is Jared, and today I'm going to be showing a little construction set that I had for about almost 5 years, and now I finally decided to do a little video about it. This is the Capsella set. I have bought my parents bought them for about a few years ago. This one was like 15 bucks, and we actually bought this one at a swap meet in I believe Morro Bay. And I have the 500 series, which is pretty nice. I have the 500 series, which was the first set I bought and the first set I learned. I will show you the pieces later. And then we got this one a few years later, the 1000 series. It's not in his it's not in his best of shape, due to the age, because it's been at my grandparents' house for a few years. But all in all, it's still intact. And what technically this is a technically a science discovery set. And among those sets, is this iconic set, which I managed to make, but it's been so long I doubt I could remake it. And I also have this one, which actually is a much larger set. And about a few months later, we found additional spare bits and bobs, which is pretty fun to do. And anyway, not further ado, let's get down into the actual sets. This is the 1000 series. Has a boatload of parts, spare piece. Has a boatload of this is the full 1000, and 4 ballasts. There's some these little pieces here, and everything connects. And it has everything here. Everything is here aside from a few pieces like this. Missing a piece. He's here. I don't know what's happened to the double battery pack, but I still have the single battery pack. I sadly lost the springs, but the tin foil in here is holding up pretty well. Oh, the crane, the power switch, the special wheels, the pump, a free spinning axle, all pumps, clutch, everything's here. About 98% of it's all here. I have all the tracks, got all the wires, the pieces, everything, including the crane. I have all the chain with a little bit extra, thanks from that set right there. And it's in my opinion, I really do like this set. My only drawback is when we first bought them, we bought them in a ways brand new. These motors were very powerful when we bought them. Though over the years, I think the motors have gotten pretty shot. Though I did test them in the previous video. I did a video of testing them, and this one and this one motor here are the only ones that work now. And I have the other one. This one's toast, sadly. So it's gonna go in there. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna do a brief explanation of all the parts using this. And here is one of the manuals. Comes with the original parts list, and under here is this is all I got. But this thing's pretty beat up. It took me a few minutes to find it. But here are the parts. The motor capsule. It's a built-in motor with a positive and negative end. And you plug them in. Everything from what I know, when you first buy them, you have to put everything together. but since it's been already pre-assembled, I didn't have to do that. And anyway, here is the motor. It's this thing right here. This piece right here. The next part, the speed reduction capsule. Oh, in other words, it reduces the speed of the motor. If I can get my hand up, I slowly spin this thing at a high rate, this thing will slowly spin with it. And that's about the best I could say. The next one is the worm gear capsule. And as you can see, it is a, if I can adjust it, there is a worm gear in there. It works just as well. Oh, it's also similar to a speed reducer. Doesn't go very fast. Next piece is the crown wheel capsule. See if you can see that right there. But this is what it is. Technically like a transmission. In a words, you hook the motor up. You hook a motor up to the end. You hook a motor up to the end, and you go. This is the wheels going this way, and technically it makes a improvised. Well, I'm just going to call it a transmission. The next piece on the list is the internal gear. It's technically a reverse. It is a reverse. It reverses the. I'm just going to be speaking in a wrong term, but it reverses the speed pull. Well, it makes the wheel turn in the opposite direction, and which works very well for the crown wheel or this piece. These pieces are so hard to put back together. The next piece is the Rotary Switch, and what that does is technically this: you hook them up to the battery, and it technically is a literal power switch. And you can hook the lamp up to it, which is this thing right here. Sadly, both lamps are broken and they no longer work, but if they were to work, when you put a motor up to this, there is a current that goes straight through it, and it gives a pulse, a so-called simulated pulse to the machine. And the next one is the clutch, and that is as simple as it is there are a spring and a spring-loaded gear. You push the button. As you can see, it is on. If I can get this thing spinning, it spins this gear as this, and then when you press the button, which will activate the clutch, it will then immediately have changed gears. Now, working the bottom one, I cannot do this with one hand at all. Please don't judge me. This is my first video with me speaking. But anyway, it's that as simple as it is. It is just a simple clutch. And lastly, the most normal piece of everything is the transmission capsule. Oh, all it is just, if I could pop this. Oh. Well, that's a flop, but this is what it is. It is just simply an empty capsule with an axle within it. That's all it is. That's all it is. And as Paz painting through, nothing really interesting. And finally, we go to the parts list. Yes, and as far as I know, thankfully, this parts list comes with the parts list for the 500, which is this set here, and the 1000, which is this set right here. Shows all the pieces, motor, everything. And I can also point out where the parts I am also missing. I am missing this L-shaped connector. Pause for a breath. I am missing the inlet port. I knew where it is, but I can't find it. But now, we get to the actual machinery. first thing is the race car. It is really cool. I've done this with my own modifications, and it's really fun to play with. And also, now, and most of these kind of weird. This one is absolutely berserk. It just goes all over the place. The fan works pretty well, I have to say. Though it does work better when you have one of these on here and it is much better. The robot trailer, which is pretty funny. The rocket launcher, to be honest, it's not really anything special, to be honest. This one is the revolving tower works especially well with the fan. The tanker is really cool to play with. And then, well, as panning through, I've done this is pretty cool. And here, as you can see, the age has affected it greatly. This is and using these pieces are pretty useful when you want to do special vehicles. The paddle boat is a really cool piece, especially when you use the pump. Okay. And now I'm just being repetitive right now as we speak, so I'm just gonna start paging through all the designs. It's belt drive, tri-wheeler, a floor polisher. To be honest, it's not very effective. All you can do is probably just scratch up your floor. No, I'm not criticizing the company that made this. I actually do like the company that made this stuff. And also, if anyone could also point out where I could buy replacement parts, there's aside from eBay and Amazon, but if anyone knows where they can get some, or they happen to have a set laying around they don't want anymore, please inform me. But anyway, it is also fun, and I also got the lo and behold parts list where I can order everything. It's kind of worn out to hell, but it is still a pretty strong thing. And I can order everything. So, if I lived in 1978, I could have been able to buy a boatload of these little motors. And maybe a few capsules and axles. But sadly, I can't. So, I'm somewhat out of luck. But, I really do like this set, and if anyone manages to find one of these, props to them. It is a really fun kit to use. These are really fun kits to play with, and really good projects to make. The ballasts are really fun things. The crane, these pieces here, I can't remember what they're called, but they're really fun. The crane, really fun to play with. The pump, especially if you have a pump for this thing, it's really a great experience. Oh dear, I made a mess. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, favorite, and subscribe if you would, please, and get this channel known. I may do more of these videos in the future if I can find parts. Though I may actually do it on a serious note. But my name's Jared. Bye bye.